So okay, Bob Vylan. Now we definitely late on this one. So just to recap it, Bob Vylan is an artist. I believe they do a bit of punk, a bit of UK rap, and a little bit of grime, all mixed together. I ain't heard of these guys. And Bob Vylan is a person, I believe, but belongs to a band. Now, I'd be lying to say that I'm familiar with who they are, but we all know why they have popped up in the headlines. Now, as somebody who grew up going to Glastonbury every year, working there, I know that it's a different audience. Glastonbury's audience is very different, especially back them days I used to go. And they always bring forth indie acts. The first time I saw the Streets was at Glastonbury, and that was before he was even massive. Like, they brought him there and he performed. Anyway, my commentary on these people, my commentary mainly on everything, is Black British driven. So it comes from our perspective. So now, this Bob Vylan guy, yeah, he's been booked for Glastonbury. You can look out into the crowd in Glastonbury and see there were many Palestine flags. Matter of fact, yesterday, when I was driving from Alton Towers, there was a lot of Palestine flags. Like when you go through certain places, there's a lot of Palestine flags because people are seeing what's going on over there. So for me, since this whole conflict has started, you go on Twitter and you see mad things, crazy things, man. I've seen seriously damaging videos that you watch and you're like, yo, youths, bodies of youths, all kind of things, man. All kind of little clips of people talking and you're like, yo, this is mad. However, a lot of people, this has become almost like a tug of war. Some folks are saying free Palestine, yeah, and they don't even know nothing about the thing, or they don't even care. They're saying it because it's popular to say it. Now, am I saying Bob Vylan really cares about Palestine, that he don't care about Palestine? I don't know, because I don't know him. What I do know is that there's a Palestinian man who has a platform bigger than any of these brothers. All these brothers in the UK, we'll get back to them in a sec, but there's a Palestinian man who might be one of the most famous Palestinians on planet Earth. He's always obsessed with Jamaican culture. Always, you know, for me, I think he's one of the biggest frauds in rap. And we're talking about DJ Khaled. Now, DJ Khaled is born to a Palestinian mother and a Palestinian father. DJ Khaled goes out with a Palestinian woman, has Palestinian children. The blood that's going through his veins are Palestinian blood. My man's never once said, free Palestine. My man's never once made any mention of anything to do with Palestine. However, these black youth, no disrespect to the Muslims or anybody else, but these black youth feel the need to be the voice of this. Now, I understand that what's going on over there is horrible. I understand that there's a lot of injustices that are taking place. However, we are in the West. And while we stand up in the West, you need to understand this, that the West, and I have to be careful even on Patreon how I say this, the West sort of blame themselves for certain historical events. They could have shut down certain things, you know. Remember World War II, when World War II was going, and I don't know how much you man listened in history or how much you man know about these things, but on that build up to World War II, there was a lot of whispers. There was a lot of whispers on what was going to take place. There was a lot of people with the glasses on in the Jewish community who could see, rude boy, these man want us gone. And they were talking it. They were running around saying, yo, wrap up everything and we're going to bounce. We need to go. These men are going to do us dirty. People didn't want to listen. They didn't want to listen. Hitler was making he was doing speeches where he was using his hate of them to drum up hate of the nation for them. That's what he was doing. That's what he was using propaganda. It was one of the most successful campaigns that Europe has ever seen. That's how he did it. That's how he was able to do it. Now, when he done this year, when Hitler was able to change Germany like this was a build-up before World War II. It was a build-up. So when the war actually happened, a lot of nations felt guilty about that, about what took place. So they went, again, I have to be careful how I'm talking this. They made a decision that, yo, what happened to these men here can't never happen like this again. And bare things got put in place for them, man. Bare things got put in place. Like, I thought there's a brother on here still from Germany. There's a brother on Patreon from Germany. If you're still on here, bro, leave a comment. There's a guy on here from Germany, and a couple years ago, we used to talk, like he'd message back and forth, and he's over there right now with his wife and his youths, and he was telling me about like how a Jewish school is set up, armed guards, everything, like it's no joke, like a man's going straight to pen if he displays any Nazi signals or anything like that. That's how it runs. The reason why all those things were facilitated is because of what took place in World War II. So now if you're in the West now, you got to understand that you're on one side of the conflict. Okay, you're on one side. It's all well and good. I'm not saying don't speak up, but your voice ain't changing nothing. You're not benefiting man in any way, shape or form. You're literally just talking to talk. The facts are it's horrible what's going on over there. But them man themselves, besides brothers like Low Key, a man like that I'll watch Low Key. For me, he's the best who breaks down this conflict. Real talk, Low Key. But as a black brother, it may sound bad. I gotta keep it real. We've got globally, there's a bag of things going on within our different communities. There's a bag of things that is going on that you could bring light to, but you bring in light, and again, it sounds terrible, but you're jumping on that. Whereas them man themselves, as in Khaled, ain't saying nothing because he understands, and I think he's a scumbag to not speak up for you people, but he knows, yo, if I speak, I'm finished. He knows that because he knows, yo, I'm on this side of the conflict. Now this Bob Vylan brother jumps up, you make the statement, and I think I'm gonna keep it real. He should have kept it there. We know that man, they're gonna twist. I know that he didn't mean death to them, to the Jewish community. He didn't mean that. He was on about the videos and the things that we're seeing on Twitter and all of that. He's saying, yo, death to them, man, because they're abusing their position during this war. That's what he was talking about. However, he should know better. You're on one side of the conflict, bro. Why are you putting yourself on the line for? For what? You putting yourself... Khaled and them man ain't saying nothing. He's in yard. He's probably the most famous Palestinian. He don't say nothing. Nothing at all. He's actually showing videos of watches, skis, lobsters and all that while his people, them are being wiped out. So how are you who I don't even know, no disrespect, because I'm not nobody who's supposed to know who you are, but I don't even know who you are, bro. So why are you talking up for man? Why are you putting yourself on the line? Why? And this is what I said to all these, man. Stormzy, this one, that. You, man, jump on these things for views and likes and that. And then you don't understand this is real. This ain't no social media campaign. This is real. There's peoples on both sides of this thing. We're not in that region. You'd have to be in the Middle East to really know what's going on that side. But on this side, man, feel bad for what they allowed back in them days. We don't need to go into detail, but they know there was whisper. It was nearly 2 years Hitler was talking these things, you know, before he executed it. They blame themselves for that. So they're not checking. They're not going to allow certain things. They're just not. So when my man's jumped out and said that, they've cancelled him. He's cancelled. And this is what I'm saying. How now is he being helped? How? Is any man shouted him and said, yo, you spoke up for my people, them, you know. There's 100 bags. No, you cancelled. You cancelled. And I don't want to hear nothing about Wiley or putting Wiley in it. Wiley, that was a selfish thing. That was nothing to do with, I've said it from day dot. Wiley was just talking for him and got his ass cancelled. Like he was talking about him. That Wiley ain't never been no community leader. Wiley ain't never been no man who speaks up on political things on it. Wiley ain't never been that. He don't even rap it he don't even spit that in his bars. So why did you expect me to believe all of a sudden he was speaking? Man are too easily impressed. At this point, a man should know if you're going against the system, you're going to get cancelled, rude boy, because you got no power. And this is what a lot of men don't understand. You're on the people them stage. They put you on that stage. They put you there. Now they don't mind you. They couldn't have said nothing if you didn't make the death chance. You went over the top, fam. You didn't need to say all that. Should have just kept it at free Palestine and done. Show a little solidarity, hand on the chest, hand on the heart kind of thing, and leave it at that. But instead, you want to be the poster boy. You want to go viral. So now, man, they cancelled, man, real fast. That's how quick it happens, man. cancelled. Nick Cannon and all these guys, like, you gotta understand, man's ain't got them man there. Demand respect. Demand it. Demand it. If you speak out, you're done. You're done. If you say the wrong thing, you're done. It doesn't matter why or none of that. The facts are you did it. And then man, if them man feel that you violated, you cancelled, and that's it. Look how fast it was for people to forget about this Bob Vylan, which is the sick name, by the way. But look how easy it was. The Diddy thing come up and those headlines were gone. I'm only speaking on about it now because it's important. But when you understand the history of the thing, there's so much, there's bag of things mans can bring attention to in Africa. You get what I'm saying? There's a bag of things, but man ain't speaking about them things. All you have to do is say, yo, listen, man, you see what's going on over there? It's wrong. The war needs to stop. That's it. You get me? And then, yo, I want pump your chest with your fists and move forward. But instead, you talk to all of that on the people them stage. It's BBC, man. We don't need to say too much on that. You went on their stage and did that. So now they've got the power to turn your lights off, and that's what's going on. They even took all these American visa. But you got to understand which part, where you're situated. You're situated in the West. You're situated in a place that feels guilty for what went on. That's all I gotta say. So when you're entertaining certain things and doing certain things, you gotta bear that in mind that these folks they're not on it. They're not on it. And you know, people are seriously vetted who go to Glastonbury. Don't let them fool you. People are vetted. See what I'm saying? What it is BBC left the feed up. If that whoever was working the buttons, yeah, when it come out, they should have cut it at that part, but they let that feed go out, innit? So when that feed went out to the world, it was almost like, man, have to pay for that. And that's what we're witnessing now. He's done, folks. He's done. You can't come back. And what I'm saying to you is you choke. That's what you wanted. The facts are, yo, if that's how you eat, bro, you've got to learn how to do certain things. A lot of men, they don't understand, like, even with this channel, things are worded a certain way a lot of the times. Like, you can't just come out full retard and say certain things. You got to know how to play the game. The English dictionary is a very, very complex book. The Oxford Dictionary, very complex book. There are so many words that mean so many things. Learn some of them words, boss, and start playing with the thing. Word things a certain way. I remember when I was watching a documentary about Bill Clinton when he received in the White House. And I remember when he come out, he worded it a certain way. And then when they broke it down in court, what he actually said, he worded it a way that he wasn't lying, how he worded it. You see what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying to folks, like, you got to be careful. And like with my man now, you got to protect. The facts are you can't help no one until you help yourself. So the reality is, yeah, this Bob Vylan brother is obviously doing gigs. He seems to be big enough that he's doing gigs around the world and that he's on the Glastonbury main stage. So that's a good look. However, how do you feed your family, bro? Are you using them gigs to feed your children, to pay your mortgage or rent, to do whatever? If that's the case, that should have been protected, fam. I'm gonna keep it real, because at the end of the day, as a man, we're not moving through this alone. We've got children that we have to provide for, family. You know what I mean? Like that has to come first, always. That needs to come first before anything else. Because let's just say he's lost. Let's just say Bob Vylan makes 100K a year after tax from music and touring and all of that. Let's just say 100K. Now you've lost that 100K, fam. Like, how are you gonna feed your family now? Like, is there anybody from the other side of the wall that's gonna shout you and say, bro, you put your career on the line for us. Hold that. This is what you've lost. Hold that. Is that gonna go on now? The answer's no, folks. So why you get yourself involved? And I'm not saying because man, a lot of people, they start trying to gaslight, man, like, oh, you're turning a blind eye. No, you're not turning a blind eye, but I've just gave you an example. Khaled, he ain't said nothing. So what you think you can do? The people who have the power, they're the ones who watch what they're saying. This thing's been going on for so long. It's been going on for long, way before we can imagine. And what I'm saying to you is, back during World War II, how that built up, them man came out of that and said, listen, savage mode now. Anything violates our thing, it's mad. That's how them man came out of that, because they went into that thing. How they went into that, yeah, It was crazy. Like literally, my man done a number on them, and they sat down with the world leaders after that and said, "Rude boy, listen, this can't go on again. Things that we didn't get." You see what I'm saying? We're still talking about reparations, this and this, that. Things we didn't get, things we didn't fight for, really. You see what I'm saying? Really? And we never got given these things. So moving forward, we're just here sitting down. Anything can go on because there's no infrastructure to harm anybody. Meaning you can't, if a man can get up on the internet and say, "Rude boy, listen, whatever about black people he wants to say," and there's no repercussions because what can you do? Man don't own no social media sites to ban him. You can't hurt his pocket in any way. What can we do? Whereas them man, one called Zuckerberg, one. Listen to the surname, Zuckerberg. Yo, this brother violated our thing, you know, you mad. Ban that on everything. What does Zuckerberg have? WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, bag of other things that I don't even know. He can just say, lock that off on everything. Lock it off, like Wiley, lock it off. Then you shout, Rudolph, you get what I'm saying? Rudolph Murdoch, who runs half the press that's still out there. Yo, my man violated. It's that easy for the narrative to change. That's how simple it is. That's what I'm saying now. You can't beat the system. Like, they can easily change your thing in the click of a finger. The perception. They used to have people back in World War II, you know, right here in Britain, you know. In the BBC, they had a room called the propaganda room. These are facts. And that room is how they used to drum up how the public would view the war. Man would sit down and come up with stories and articles and things of that nature of how the country would view the war. So if they wanted to do something, they'd have a campaign to get the people on side. That's how they do it. So this Bob Vylan brother, some of the same people that are defending him, it only takes them to print a story. Like, think about, I'm going to take it to a low level. What was that brother's name, man, who got killed by the feds in 2022? Christopher Carver. Now, look, when that happened, we got online and we said, people, the feds don't, when I say the feds, the British police, they don't play no games. They knew, we got to be careful how we approach this. We got to be careful how we do it. Everyone was mad. People were kicking off. And what did I say to you? Wait. All they had to do is drop the video of him shooting in the club. Now, the facts are, people, he could have turned a born-again Christian the next day after that shooting in the club. But they know by putting that video out, most people ain't going to continue supporting him because I'm keeping it real. If my son was involved in anything like that and he was shooting after people, you got to hold whatever comes with that, son. That's what we're missing now in fathers. You got to hold. If I've raised you the right way, the real way, I've put principles in you, morals, everything else. I've worked with you as my son and I've showed you right from wrong and you've chose a path. Because the facts are people still have free will. When you choose that path, you need to know what comes with that. And if you don't understand what comes with that, then you're going to learn the hard way. And the facts are with the Carver thing, they threw that video out and literally 90% of the supporters dropped off. Now that was done strategically. That was strategically released. As I said, he could have turned a born-again Christian, but anyone who continued to defend after that looked and sounded stupid. That's what you call a chess move. Now, the Jewish community, they understand, if something violates, there's an infrastructure in place that what happened before, remember before, the Germans then was able to sway the public. These men are coming here and building up yards and spending bread and they're not doing nothing. They're not helping us. They put that rhetoric out there and people ate it up. There were people walking around Germany who hated them and didn't even know why. These are just facts. I used to be really, really big into the war still. Like just the history of it and that. Because that war, the first and second was true. Them wars were truly over Africa. Most people don't know that. Them wars were really about Africa. That was really the Europeans and the rest of the world warring about the future of Africa. And what I'm getting at is that they came out of that and they said, listen, zero tolerance crew. And that's what it's been. And me personally, I've always been on the side of that's why it's important to promote ownership, development. Like if you notice, we speak a lot about AI and stuff because a lot of our people ain't tapping in. That's the next wave of the world. A lot of us ain't tapping into that. So we speak about it enough, but that's the next wave of the world. That's where the power's going. That's where the next portion of wealth is coming from. The next wave of smartphones and all of that are going to have these things built into them. WhatsApp has AI built into it. The world is changing right before our eyes. And if man refuse to change with it, then you're going to be food. And what I'm saying is them man position themselves and put together an infrastructure that if anything even says something that's deemed offensive, you're cancelled. While we still haven't learned the mechanics of this, man, we're still trying to champion that friggin' idiot Kanye. From brothers are championing stuff like that, then there's no way man are going to progress. You came out and you disrespected a brother you came out and you endorsed a brother who created devastation in their man's community. Do you think they're going to allow you to continue to eat? If it was me, you wouldn't be allowed to continue to eat if you violated my ancestors. Whereas we, because man don't know the culture and man haven't been taught nothing about history, they're not offended. Enough brothers don't even understand that mans went through what they went through so we could be here today. You know how much abuse man like my granddad would have had to take silently. So when them man came home, listen to me, man. When them kind of brothers came home, imagine the day that were all that abuse and being told this and being told that, and you can't say nothing because, yo, if I lay out this brother right now, I can't feed my family. We disrespected those people. We allowed folks like that to be disrespected. Them man ain't allowing that. Them brothers ain't allowing that. I ain't mad at them because we allow that. Man said slavery was a choice. Look at the breakdown. This is what I say. Sometimes it don't even make sense having a podcast because you're just talking to talk. From day dot when my man came out talking all that rubbish, the whole community got behind him more or less. Brothers who are thick as two planks of wood have platforms nowadays. Kanye's running around with a porn star. A man tried to make that the voice of black people. Come on, folks, man. Come on. They just got a zero tolerance approach and that's it. Brothers have a lot of power and you can be shut down almost immediately. And that's what it is. That's what it is. Man can either learn from it or cry about it. But when you get up on them man's stage, the stage says BBC. The stage don't say whatever else companies that are with the other thing. It says BBC. And if you ain't got the common sense to know, rude boy, they've gave you a platform to feed your family. And don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that he ain't standing up for what's right. But they gave you a platform, fam. You could have said it a different way. You could have did a coded message. You could have said, yo, we don't want it. You could have said anything different from what you said. But you said what you said, and that comes with consequences. These are the facts. Anybody who wants to play dumb to that, I'm sorry, there's nothing more I can say to you. My man's finished, and that's it. That man ain't going to come and cut, check or none of that. Just like Robinson, he's on the side of Israel. These are facts. But if you notice, anytime he says something out of line, that man spank him and make him know, yo, shut your mouth. So all you brothers that are growing out your beard and hot combing it and diamond socks, family, just understand you are not the voice of that. You're not the voice. And if you want to become the voice, understand what comes with it. Understand what comes with it. People, I hope you enjoyed that clip. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to watch the stream in full, consider becoming a Patreon or joining our YouTube members. And don't forget to hit the like button, folks, and we'll see you in the next one.